Okay, boys and girls, we're going to be trying something different today. This is an app I use called Coach's Eye. And what we're going to be looking at is it's a thing that I can draw on the screen with, right? Which is one thing, but it also allows me to take plays and break it down and give you an idea on what's going on. And this is basically about close quarters combat, specifically to do with hot drops, but we're going to get to that, right? So we're going to get to all of this. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it works. And if it doesn't, well, it's not for lack of trying. Here we go. So this is obviously Karakan, the new map. First thing I'm going to talk about here is where we've dropped. You'll see that I'm actually in my motto with Karakan or any place on a hot drop is I'm going to the most likely populous area. And on Karakan, generally, right under the flight path, there will be a city. As soon as you cross the border between the ocean and the freaking land, everyone's going to drop there because there's gear everywhere. Everything is a high resource center. But if you note, there's lots and lots of gunfire going on in town. Why am I where I am? Well, I'm here for a reason. And this is something that as you get better at the game, you'll realize I'm going to come up on a guy right here who is actually, have a look at this dude here. Okay, now he's dropped, I saw him drop. He dropped into town over here in the corners. And I knew he was there because I watched him drop in. And then he's rotating around the flank towards the gunfire that he can hear. Okay, that's all well and good. But I dropped the edges. And the reason is if you think of even PUBG Mobile as a circle, and if you're on the edge of the circle and there's all kinds of crap going on in the middle, then no one's going to come at you from behind. You don't have to worry about my ass. So I know that there's no one behind me here. Everyone that's a bad guy is in front of me here. And even in CQC, just like rotating through circles, that means that you can have an edge. You only have to look one way. This guy right here has people over here in these complexes, and he has me behind him, and he is running into the middle of those two sections, which is a pincer. So we're going to get the clear on him, and he's the first kill. Pasha Putra with a G36C. You also might note that I'm running an MP5K and a G36C. That's really easy on Karakan because there's so much loot. Like it is, everything is a resource center. On maps like Erangel and such, that can be very, very difficult when you're not sure if you're going to get enough gear for a squad or even a solo in certain spots. Why I like talking about the gear is important. I'm running an MP5K because it is specifically built for CQC. That stands for Close Quarters Combat, which is what we're talking about here. The G36C is a 5.56 AR. It starts to excel in combat at about 40 meters. 35 meters, it's good. At 40 meters and up, it's one of the best guns in the game because it's got an extremely high bullet speed. I'm going to do another video on bullet speed soon because a lot of people don't seem to understand it. So I'm running a CQC weapon here, the MP5K, but if anything's over about 40 meters, I am going to use this. Now, I don't know if you can hear that because I have got the music up and I don't want to make that too loud, but I just heard footsteps. And if you look on the mini-map right here, you'll see that there are footsteps, okay? I'm not certain which area they're in, so I'm just going to let that play out. Let's watch this little passage of play. You'll note that there are people down on the left, down towards this section of the map, but I'm ignoring them because I know that they've got their own problems and I can deal with this guy. What I'm actually doing is looking for an overlook. A lot of these buildings have windows and balconies, and those balconies and windows overlook the bad guys in the next house along. You can see this is a whole part of city areas and urban environments is getting an overlook, and I want to get him through that window. How do I know that's possible? Because I died from this building, this exact building, to someone through that exact window about a day before this. So I know that that's a possibility. And that's why I am angling and edging along here. And I'm just going to try and pop a molly in there. If we get lucky, we get lucky, but it doesn't look like it. Missed my ledge grab. I was going for a ledge grab. And we're pushing. Now, this is a big part about CQC. A lot of people seem to think that close quarters combat is all about guns. It's not. It's also about throwables. You see how I've thrown something in through that window there? That actual building is say that's the building, the internals. There's a staircase that comes up here. Then there's the window here. And then there's a corridor that runs along here. Okay. I have put a Molly into this section here. Okay. And he's not gone down that window. We've seen that. He is actually retreated back into this corner over here. All right. That should be pretty clear. Watch what I do next. So we don't just use throwables to immediately kill. What we've done is we've forced him into a corner. And we're going to chuck some of these things all over the place. And voila. You can see where he was. He was sitting right here on this corner here. You can see smoke, the green smoke from the death. That wasn't an accident. That was like something we intentionally did, or I intentionally did, using the royal we. You're coming along on a voyage of discovery with me, right? So this is what we're doing. Let's keep going. So you can use your throwables. You can do this in Pachinki. You can do it in Millbase. You can do it anywhere. You can throw a flashbang and then throw a molly. That's a really effective one. It's one of the only uses I've actually found for a flashbang. One, people seem to think that they're frag grenades because, you know what I mean, if you throw smoke or a flashbang or anything and it rattles around on the ground, people bail. Or if they see it coming through the air, they just run. And then you molly the area. Now, I know there's gunfire down there. I've ruined my little thing, so I'm taking third person, and I'm looking straight down this corridor here. If we look at the mini-map, I know this is going to be a little bit blurry for you guys, but I came in, I landed around about this area here, okay? And then I've rotated down and through there. Along the way, we've got 2 kills, and we have cleared this whole section of town. Now, I am pretty certain, you're not always guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed in this life because you could get someone who will just, you know, be camping up here or, you know, be lying down behind this wall. But it's not the case. This is why we run the G36C. We get the knock and we look at the name, Fury Lord. So then if we watch the kill feed, we'll see if Fury Lord comes up in the kill feed, okay? I haven't got a kill for Fury Lord. I know someone just died down there and someone has just jumped out. He's in white. So I know who I'm looking for, and I'm did you see that? This is an experienced campaigner who has lost too many gunfights. The thing that I wanted to do there, if we watch, I'm thinking I'm going to go around there, okay? I'm going to go around there, and then I'm going to come up that side and push down there to see that guy. And then I realize Fury Lord's still on the board, okay? So he's not dead. There are other people up there that are engaged in and fighting. It could just be possible that if I go down that way, I will get pincered by someone in an overlook position on the balcony and they will also wreck me. So instead of doing that, I go to the middle. I'm thinking, where are these people? Someone is reviving the guy that I just knocked. Hello? Fury Queen and Fury Lord, they go down. If I hadn't have pushed, and I'm pushing a knock, and I mean, I wasn't certain where they were. I heard them, but I'm looking at this going, he has to be up here somewhere. The most likely spot is in this building. And as soon as we pop in, we start hearing footprints. Here it comes. There's our 2. So now we get the next 2 kills. We know there's one more in here somewhere. And it's the last guy left alive. The reason we're pretty sure of that is, have a look at this map, okay? Again, we're going to the mini-map. I've landed here, pushed down and through here, and got 4 kills, okay? Someone has pushed down into these guys from that direction, and he's now bailed out to there. I don't know where he's gone, but he's got a bunch of kills too, okay? I'm not hearing any more gunshots from the other direction, and it's a fairly safe assumption if you've been running CQC games for as long as I have, that means there's no one else left. And this guy's actually crossed back while I was in there clearing those 2, and he is now upstairs. Now, this is where I kind of break my own rules. There's gunshots and crap everywhere here, and I'm just like, I'm going to do everything humanly possible to draw this guy out. And this is actually very, very painstaking and very long. And one of the reasons I like making these videos is because people seem to think that you should just charge up and everyone will die, that you're a god. And if you're not able to do that, then, you know, you suck. But I don't think it's that simple. TPP, particularly with third-party peeking, gives you a huge advantage if you are the defending player. And one of the things you've got to do is try to draw people into making a mistake. It's not all about just running through a field, shooting the other guy with your 6-gun faster because you're better. And you can see I'm actually getting further and further away from the target. I'm trying to break contact and see if I can get him to make a movement. But as we all know, that's not what happens. And I thought this might be him. But yeah. As I struggle to get through the window, that's him shooting a bot, right? I can see that that's him shooting a bot. He's still in the same building. And we know just by the data the game's giving us where he is. Now, this can be when a lot of people lose. Now, I will also point out, this is something that happens a lot on Miramar too. If we go back here and have a look at this, see how there's a window, and they're all closed. There's nothing, there's no sight lines. The only sight line is from up here on this balcony. This is so often the case in Miramar. On buildings all over Miramar have windows that face that direction, and whole facades that have no windows, apart from maybe a balcony or if you get on top of the roof or the ground floor window. And that can be really frustrating, but you could take that and use it to your advantage because it means that there's no sight lines, okay? There's no way that he can still be up there and actually hit me. So we're going to try our same trick as before first, just because why not? He immediately runs to the balcony. I'm pretty sure he's in the balcony. I hear footsteps over here. It's a bot. Okay. No worries. We get him, but he's now heard us, and we've actually kind of screwed up here. You know why? Remember what I told you before? Yeah, what's that? That's a huge window now. That's something you've got to watch out that doesn't happen anywhere else apart from Karakin. That's a huge-ass window, which was not there previously. And if this guy had been a bit more aggressive, he would have been able to take third-party position on that window and just wallop me. But he didn't, for whatever the reason. I am also using that window. I mean, it's a little bit... Okay, so he's opened that door. And he's gone to the balcony. And then he's gone from the balcony back into the corridor. I've thrown the Molotov. And he's gone back onto the balcony. It's like, whatever. And this is where I break my own rules. I know that he's probably up here, just above me. I can hear him running around. He's still holding third-party position. He's directly above me now. I'm thinking that's probably going to burn him a little bit. And if I want to get him, this is the best possible moment. Now, I'm going to slow-mo this because this is not the right way of doing it. Okay, this is not the right way of doing it. I don't know exactly where he is. Okay, apart from if we look at the mini-map, you can see his footprints are behind me and to the left. That's because he's actually up around this corner, along here, and on the balcony. All right? But it's so frustrating because this is not what you do. You don't just blind assault a corner. You can do it like I'm about to, pre-firing. Now, first thing I know is, shit, there's a door open on the balcony, but I'd forgotten about this little room here. And I panic because I'm like, well, he could be taking third-party position standing right here, or he could be taking third-party position standing behind that side of the doorway or behind that side of the doorway. And if I try and force an entry into this door, he's going to wallop me. If I try and force an entry to this door, he can come out from the left and wallop me. And this is why you don't blind push corners. But I'm going to do it anyway because I've just had enough of his shit. This is how it is in the big boy league. Sometimes, but you see what I did? And this is again because I have been killed this way so many times before. As I push, this is the best cover in the whole world for me right now, is this door right here. It is metal. It won't break. He can smash it as much as he wants. And what I do as I push in, I jump, because then I know that I'm at least going to be able to get behind here and learn where he is. It's going to cost me to do it, but we're still going to be able to do it. So we jump. He's right there. Now, I got away with that because all I took was a hit on like a limb that did about 10 damage, right? Which is cheap. Cheap. If he had a little bit more minerals, he could have gunned me down as I jumped down that corridor, and it would have been coming around here with little to no health. And now it just becomes a straight up potato fest as we fight each other and make trades. And he's got a barrel, but I beat him on the weapon swap. And you can see, look what he's done, right? He's gone straight. And as I pull out here, he is pulling out his G36C. Very, very close. There's so much going on in CQC, and it's such a wonderful part of the game. And it's something that I've really enjoyed for so long, even though the player base as a whole has just got better and better to the point where I can know now that when I go into a CQC fight, I can lose to anyone. Whereas previously I felt like whenever I went into a CQC fight, I was going to win. There's so many variables: ping, desync, weapon selection, armor, what you had for breakfast, what are you wearing, all these kind of things. Anyway, look, I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this kind of tactical breakdown, let me know and we can do some more of them. Otherwise, just look after yourselves and as always, stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.